So now you've switched. You've played. You've switched. You decided to become a strength and
Conditioning coach. Yeah.
I want you to tell us what challenges you're facing.
First of all, at the moment, I think it's one of those areas in rugby or just in sports that is not taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, it's one of the most important.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, Geoffrey Kimani went through some challenging times, if you remember his time. He resigned from the national team because people were not listening to him. And it was really, really hard. And at the moment, I'm kind of facing the same similar things. But, I mean, coaching and being in a kind of that position, it's a privilege. And you just have to work out and find a way to make it work. Yeah.
Find a way to make it work. And then, in 2016, you're part of that historic 2016 Singapore Sevens win, making Singapore our home until things happened later on. But how special was that moment right there? Singapore making sure that New Zealand can't touch us, Australia can't touch us, Argentina, the heavyweights, England can't touch us. How did that feel?
To be honest, we actually, for me personally, I thought we were actually going to win in Hong Kong because we ended up losing to Fiji, I think, 10-12. I remember most of the boys were crying, and I think that was the moment I realized that we actually ready to win because you could see it, like everybody wanted it. And then I remember I was sitting with Samuel Liech during the Fiji-New Zealand final, and I was like, bro, I cannot wait to actually be in this moment, Hong Kong, national anthem. That happened, I think, 2 years later. But, I just wanted to be in that moment, just experienced in that moment and, singing the national anthem. And then we go to Singapore. We had a good week we prepared well that week. And then day one, we didn't actually play that well because I think we drew with Scotland, lost to South Africa, and we beat Russia. And then the two were facing France. Yeah. France the previous day had smoked, I think, New Zealand. I think it was something 40 something because of Virimi Vakatawa. And we just showed up and won that game, and then we just took it one game at a time. And then that final, I remember, for some reason, I've played in this game for a very long time, and every time I knew we were going to win a game, the changing room is always quiet.
Right.
And then, it was just calm and peaceful. And then I remember they were playing that Daima song, Daima Mimi Mkenya.
Yes.
And, I remember Mike Friday even came and popped in his head. I think he wanted to say something, but I just looked in. He was like, I'm not coming in. So, and, we ended up beating Fiji properly. And, it was really, really nice. But to be honest, for me, my highlight of my career was beating New Zealand in their own backyard. That was, for me, the best time ever.
I think to add on to sevens now with our current seven squad.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like they're transitioning from the time when you guys were playing? Because you guys were the golden boys of Kenya Sevens, right?
Yeah.
Transitioning into now, do you think that's what has caused the dip in terms of form for Kenya's national team in terms of the sevens?
I mean, to be honest, we have a good team at the moment, and I think Coach Bling is doing a good job. We're always punching above our weight. That much I can promise you. But I think the dip happened, I think it was 2017, 2018. After that, when there was a strike and most of the boys left. And then there was a new bunch of players that came through. And for me, that was, I think, where most things happened, because I remember when I joined Kenya Sevens, there was people to guide me on how to do things.
Right.
Yeah. But that did not happen to the current crop of players. But now I think there's a good bunch of leadership. There's a good leadership group at the moment, the likes of Vincent Onyala, Tony Omondi, who are trying to guide the team the right way, because that really helped me. Most people think you just wake up, go play sevens rugby, and that's it. It's not that simple, trust me. You're playing with people who are earning millions. You are coming from, we come from different backgrounds.
Correct.
Yeah. So at the moment, I think we're punching above our weight, but they're doing a good job, because, I mean, if we kept the same system with the World Rugby, we'll be in the series still, because we actually ended up winning the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the boys on the right track. It's just now World Rugby sorting their stuff up. Yeah.
Okay.
With the change of whatever is happening in the union right now, in the rugby union,
Yeah.
do you think it's going to affect the process now for the Sevens team?
I mean, yes and no, because for me, I believe in two things. I am in control of my actions. So the boys, I think, are in control of that. They can train, they can do everything. Now the ball comes down to the leadership group because the easiest thing to say is, let's say there's no money.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to say. And what is your job if you're like in the leadership position and you're not looking for that money, you know? You have players who are like showing up every morning, doing their job. I think everybody should play their part. But I think the players will be okay. It's just now top management taking care of their stuff, to be honest. Yeah.
All right. We have Willy Ambaka in studio again. You can reach out to us 0733 222 105. That is 0733 222 105. You can also get through to us at SportyFM KE on all social handles, on all social media. We are there. If you have a question for, Willy Ambaka when he was in the Sevens, and when we come back, now that he has transitioned into a coach, he tells us what is happening at Harlequins and how, as an Harlequin fan, him and I, believe we can work together. By the time we get to what we wanted to ask Willy, and this is something that Willy can contribute very well. We've got a message back from a fan, all right? He says, this is Elijah from Eldoret. I would like to say that it's not necessary for the refs to take it as of their decisions on the match. I think it can't bring any sense. One might think that the ref taking sides on their opinion. So basically, post-match interviews with a referee, he is not for it. Now, Willy, we know how the TMO communicates with the ref on ground.
Okay.
So, even in terms of whether there's a suspicious try, a foul, kila kitu, and that is broadcast to the speakers so that even fans can hear the decision making. Yeah? As a football fan, sawa, do you think this would work well to have a post-match reaction from the referee on how the match was?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they make some pretty interesting decisions, especially when Manu is playing for some reason. So we like to hear, and honestly, like the media people can actually ask questions in terms of like the decisions made, so that we actually understand what's happening. Because if you look at the game versus Arsenal,
yes,
what happened to the keeper? Some people like
Bayadir, yes.
Yeah, it's more of like if you hit Man United, it's a goal. If you love Man United, that was a foul.
That was a foul.
Yeah. So I'd like to hear the referee's perspective, because he's the one and the TMO, I think, who are the ones making those decisions. So to hold people accountable, I think they need to answer the questions.
They need to answer the questions. Now, even it came to Hunter's home versus Madagascar. It came to Hunter's home.
100%.
Yeah, and at that point, everyone is like, why are you not going to talk to the VAR? Just like how when a ref is not sure about it in rugby, talks to the TMO.
Yeah.
Like, can I get feedback? Is that a try? Is that not a try?
Yeah.
But for this, it's like the ref is 100% making all the decisions. Na hataki kusaidiwa. You think VAR is going to work in Africa?
I mean, it can work. One thing people need to also understand is like referees are human beings. And those are pressure moments.
Yeah.
Unless they're just being it's too obvious, then maybe, But for me, it's like you have to look at it from both sides, It's one, you're dealing with a human being, but two as well, ask the right questions. Why didn't you check with upstairs to see what happened, I think that's fair.
Because another argument with Nikki is that would be the whole conversation of that referee when they make a certain decision, and then all the fans are like, oh yeah, mbono kuuliza VAR, suko na msaidizi mbono kumuuliza. Does that take away the idea of the ref making the final decision, especially in African football?
No, because you see, at the end of the day, VAR is there to help you in terms of the technology bit, right?
Yes.
Ultimately, the ref on the pitch has the final decision, and everyone who understands how VAR works understands that bit. So I don't think so.
You don't think so? Right then. So, Willy,
Yep.
you've made the transition from being a player and now you are a coach at Kenya Harlequins.
Yep.
How you applying your international experience to develop, young players and local talent coming through?
For me, one thing that actually drove me into coaching was I remember being a player and like being coached the wrong way. Because in reality, players are not stupid. You know, they'll feel like when things are not going 100%. And I believe every person deserves a good coaching experience. And that's why, like, because I was choosing between like being a rugby coach and strength and conditioning coach. So I just made the decision because I love the physical aspect of of things, and it's been great. The only thing is winning the changing room, because I think it takes 7 days somewhere about there to like actually have an impact to the boys. Because you can have all the material, you can have everything, you can be the smartest person, but if you don't win the human being, it's not gonna work out. Yeah. So it's going well so far. I'm loving it. Yeah.
It's going on so well, huh?
I think I'll go back to exactly strength and conditioning. You were mentioning earlier that it's overlooked.
Yep.
Now, when it comes to rugby being a very physical sport, what would you say is the key thing to do as a rugby player from a strength and conditioning angle to prevent constant injuries? Because rugby tends to be very physical. You're injury prone as long as you're a rugby player. So what's the best formulation in terms of training that prevents that?
One, training the right way, recovering well, eating the right foods. I think it's a combination of so many things, because I think there's a study that was done in terms of like if you don't sleep well, chances of risk of you being injury prone that on tournament day or training day goes up by 25% or something like that. So you see it's a combination of so many things. If you don't eat well, you're prone to injuries. You don't sleep well, you don't hydrate well. Those things. The human body is so complicated that and you're training for performance. Your body becomes like a Formula One car. You have to fuel the right way, otherwise it's not going to function the right way. So I think you have to get everything right, especially if you are training, let's say in the national team or like even football, whatever you're doing. You just have to make sure everything you're doing is like 100%. Like your habits have to be like better than anybody, and your self-discipline. Because me being a player, I remember there was times I used to want to have pizza and I could not have a pizza, because now let's say it's pre-season, you're preparing your body to actually be effective during the season, and that's the only time you can actually do it, with the volume being high and So I think it's a combination of so many things. You just have to make sure you like following the right protocols.
Right. I like the fact that you squeezed in Formula One right there. What team do you support in Formula One, Kwanza?
Ferrari.
Hey. Boss, let me shake your hand. Tunaumia pamoja kila pale.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not like I never sit down and watch it that much, but Ferrari person.
Ferrari person. And obviously you're not happy with how Ferrari are performing. Manu is letting you down.
Queens.
Ferrari is
Queens is letting you down.
So I think Neil and Mwaka heartbreaks, but yeah.
I like the fact that you brought up the whole idea of Queens because hey, Ambaka, what's happening to Queens?
I mean,
what you're on the technical bench?
Yeah.
Is it a transition to new players? Are you lacking some backing of some sorts? What's happening with the sevens team, with the Harlequin sevens team? Because in the circuit, we saw it in Christie's. You were there in Embu.
Yeah.
So tell us what's happening.
To be honest, we actually have a good bunch of boys, and I love them to bits. To be honest, we have a good technical bench, and sometimes sevens rugby. You can prepare, well, and you fall short. We lost. We've lost a couple of quarterfinals, close quarterfinals.
Close.
Yeah, like they're really, really close. And that tells you something, that sometimes it's just luck. You need luck on your side. And it takes me back to that Bible verse that says a horse is made ready for battle, but the victory lies in the Lord. So sometimes things happen, it never makes sense. And yeah, only thing you can do is just always show up. And then maybe, rugby doesn't end this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'll continue playing, and I'm pretty sure we'll have a good team ready for next year as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think you need to sit down with the women's coach for the Harlequins team to give you some tips and tricks, because they've been outperforming the men of late, yeah?
Yeah. Credit to the girls, to be honest, because it's a new program, and they actually show up and they kept their bond quite tight. And they've pretty much outperformed us, but at the same time, it's still Kenya Harlequins. It's not. It hasn't changed the fact that it's not Queens, you know. we're all Queens, yeah.
We're all Queens.
Yeah.
In terms of the surprise package for you this season,
Yep.
in the Kenya circuits of the sevens, what team for you is the surprise package? In all this games you've been having over the weekends, whether it's Christie's, Embu, and the others that are coming through.
To be honest, I have two teams actually, Nakuru and Strathmore.
Strathmore Leos,
Yeah,
especially
because
in Embu Sevens,
yeah. I mean, just from rough and tough, you know, we played them in rough and tough, and we actually won that game. But they've been getting better and better and better, and you can tell it's a tight group of like people who support each other, and they're actually enjoying what they're doing, and you can see like day two when it means the most,
right?
That kind of bond wins you games, you know,
because it wins you games.
Because they're doing it for each other, they're having fun. That's the most important bit, actually. Sometimes it's too bad to be uptight, you know. So quarterfinals, you could see like we played them in Nakuru and they won 26-0, and for me, I was just sitting there. I was like, credit to them. They actually, they outplayed us that game, and we actually had so many mistakes as well, and they're actually good at capitalizing on that, and they actually have a plan in place. You can actually see a plan happening. So yeah, that team and Nakuru are looking good as well, and yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah.
Embu Sevens. Let's talk about Embu Sevens. Do you enjoy that circuit?
To be honest, the stadium, no, I did not enjoy it because it becomes it's a risk for the players, man. Like the ground was not up to stand.
It was not up to standard.
No, it was not. It was not like the warm-up area. You find like 6 teams warming up at the same time.
Ooh.
Then that changes the way you warm up people, you know. And the ground itself, the way it was, like we had a lot of hamstring injuries.
Oh,
that's also another thing. So that says a lot. But all in all, the boys showed up, played, and we went back home.
If you were to remove the Embu Sevens and pick a different place, a different place for you guys to host, let's say next year's circuit, which would be your preferred place?
I mean, for now, you just go for quality because there's not a lot of places in Kenya that actually play rugby, and people can say, "Oh, Nairobi has 2 legs. Why don't you take another leg to Nakuru then?"
Because Nakuru
Nakuru actually has a better feel because one, it's player safety and player, taking care of the players, not just doing tournaments just to make it look good or making it like an outreach program. I don't think that's the right way to do it. I mean, even if you're doing it, then do it the right way. Make sure like the field is up to standard because you're dealing with human beings and people's children. It does not make any sense taking them to a stadium where like chances of getting injured are quite high. It does not make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. We have Harlequin fans listening to us right now, and they want to hear from Ambaka. What is the next step in terms of Harlequins Rugby Football Club? In terms of not only the 7s teams right now, the 15s, the ladies. Okay, for now it's the 7s because of the circuit. But also in terms of local rugby, how you'll recruit the next future stars. What is the next step for Harlequins?
I mean, right now as coaching staff, we've decided to think long-term, player development. And I think that's actually what wins you games. And we have this thing in Kenya where we like quick fixes. You go buy X and X players rather than developing our own. We are coaches. We can actually do it, So for Kenya Cup, we're actually working right now trying to see who's going to be actually up for selection for that tournament. And just making sure preparing the boys the right way. For the 7s team, still we have 2 more legs to go to. And we try and win either both or we come victorious in one. But we're actually going to compete in both of them.
Right, that's a good way of saying it. They're going to compete. Queen Nikki, Cabras, will they be ready for that competition?
Hey, they better be. They better be. I can't take Manchester United, Ferrari, Cabras.
What happened last weekend, Cabras Queens?
I think their shoulders are tired from lifting trophies. So I'll allow my boys to rest.
So that's the reason why they're not winning.
How did you end up becoming a Cabras fan, by the way?
Let me tell you now, it's a funny story.
Yeah.
Where I used to have a friend of mine. He has a mutual friend whose cousin used to play for KCB.
Okay.
So they took me, my first rugby game, to your grounds.
Yeah, kids, yeah.
So it was Cabras versus KCB.
Yeah.
For me, that time there were those two South African boys who were playing.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was watching how Cabras were playing, and then the fans, I was just like, hakuna venye I'm supporting KCB. Me, hata kama nimeletwa na watu wa KCB, me I'm going the Cabras way.
Have you been to the Kakamega Stadium?
Not yet. But that has to be on my wish list. I need to go.
By the end of this year.
Yeah, I'll try my best.